Hello, ladies and gents, and welcome back here to the Elite of Europe stream from Chaos TV featuring yours truly, Metis, alongside Pulse. We are currently in the loading screen, and I'm hoping that Svenskerin's computer hasn't just died out on us because it shows, to me at least, that he's not connected. But, yeah, hopefully we'll be ready to go live very, very shortly. Just a quick look at the skin wars here, Pulse. Any skins that are jumping out to you? Well, actually, having said that, there's only 2 skins thus far on the SK Gaming side, so I guess you'd have to give it to Mousesports right now.
Yeah, that's very true, and considering my client is in the bottom right-hand corner again, I can only see Joanna Graves and not the disconnected Svenskeren. So at the moment, I'm going to have to give it to SK because I can't say anything else.
That's a fairly good point. If you can't see both teams, it's probably best to give it to the team that you can see. So, yeah, if you have just joined us, guys, we're going to be casting well into the night. The last game is scheduled to start at 2200 GMT. That's 2300 if you do live in Europe, Central Europe, and that's going to be TSM against Game Hoppers. So we could very well be going all the way through to about midnight English time. Lots and lots of action to still come up. Game number 2 is going to be Fnatic Raidcall versus Curse EU. Third matchup is going to be Moscow 5 facing off against Team Ace of Poland. Some real mouth-watering affairs here. And then tomorrow we're going to have the semi-finals, the consolation final, and then the grand final to finish things up nicely. And good stuff. Svensken has just reconnected and is loading back into game, so should be live very shortly.
And sporting the Warlord Shen skin, like it. And that will be Jungle Shen. Interesting thing about Jungle Shen is a lot of people put Shen top nowadays because he's such a strong laner. But that being said, you have the global ultimate in the jungle, meaning that you're not leaving a lane exposed to bleed EXP and it can't be pushed down when you're trying to gank or help bottom out. So having him in jungle was really, really clever. However, he gets his level 6 slower because junglers will be approximately the same level as your bottom lane and not the same sort of level as your solo lanes. So you will have that slightly later, and it will give the enemy team a larger opportunity and larger window to capitalize on that and not get engaged upon 3 versus 2.
Yeah, very true. In the jungle as well, his taunt is incredibly strong for ganks, so if he can land that one, definitely could be picking up a few kills here, there and everywhere. But we are now live into game number 1. You're going to have on the purple team Mousesports, and of course on the blue team SK Gaming. That's if you're in colorblind mode. And of course we will be going right off the bat here with Young Buck on Kale coming down towards the bot lane. So of course there has been a bit of a reshuffle in the SK lineup. Kevin used to be their solo top player. He is now going to be their AD carry, and in the meantime you're going to have a few little shuffles here, there and everywhere, as Dedrian did switch over to Mousesports. So Svenskeren has came in to assume that jungle role. This time, as we said just before, he's going to be playing with the mighty Shen.
Yep, and honestly, it's interesting where Zorm or Mousesports are positioned right now, because they have 2 people bottom, and that's the jungler in the top lane. Looks like they are going for the invade here. Graves not in a bad position, though he could be caught out. Looks like they are going to go in for this invade.
And they did fire in the Flash Frost, but Kevin is all by his lonesome around the double golems. Needs to be so careful. If he just strolls in to the Tribush, he will be finding himself taken very comfortably. All 5 players for Mousesports are still there. A couple pings going down, and it looks like Kevin is going to be just fine. And suddenly, the purple team will start to pull themselves back to their own spawn, their own jungle, and doesn't look like we're going to have any early first bloods kicking off.
Everyone's just going to be quite safe at the start, and it looks like Shen's going to go for a red start, so he's looking for those early ganks. That kind of makes a lot of sense. They need to just sustain themselves till late game, because they have king late game team. 280 carries and split pushing from Shen, and the peel from Nif, and just Shen as well. It just, everything is late game scale for them. So if they can get into that late game and just stall it as long as possible, they'll probably outright win, as long as they're not too far behind.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're going to have both junglers pretty much cruising along. Shen starts on red, Nocturne on blue. Couple pings towards that bot lane, but nothing is going to be kicking off just yet. So, Nif and Kevin facing off against Candy Panda and Dax. Both strong lanes here. If Dax can get his 1-2 combination of the pulverized headbutt, Tristana's rocket jump on top of that is going to be fairly dangerous. But then again, Nif with that 1-2 when she hits 6. Also, the Q coming in from the Howling Gale is going to be able to push back Alistar and Tristana too, but we just have to hold on very close to that bot lane and see how it goes down. Meantime, neither of the junglers seem to be too interested right now in ganking. Both just going to be picking up their buffs and trying to do what they can to farm themselves up a tiny bit here. So pretty much just going to be a farming fest to start off with, Pulse.
Yeah, and it looks actually like Svenskeren looks for a gank somewhere, or maybe he's just going to do some counter jungling, but yeah, he's going for a gank in mid. Interesting to note, he went red and straight to blue, meaning he got immediately that level 3. And he's just going to say hello to Momo.
Just a kind little wave there and pulling himself back out of mid lane. So let's look at bot, some action going down. Kevin getting tagged up a couple times from Tristana and Alistair, but nothing really to write home about. Doesn't appear to be any huge aggression from Dedrian thus far, but here he comes towards top lane in the tri-bush. No ward down. He is going to start to move into this river bush, and there is a ward down there, so Kale knows exactly what the deal is. But that ward is going to run out very, very soon, in a matter of seconds in fact. And now you are going to see Nocturne coming back once again. Ward is still up, only just, has just run out. But again, Kale playing very safe, better safe than sorry. And this time Nocturne will actually pulling himself back. In the meantime, Shen comes around the backside there of Anivia, does land the taunt and lots of damage. That red buff really cutting through Moma. But remember, the egg, the passive will come good here as the flash goes back on towards the tower. The flash and the egg have been popped though. So Svenskeren definitely with a successful gank in that situation.
Yeah, the reason Ocelot didn't follow up on that one, which may be confusing to some people, is the fact that Anivia is a burst mage, and at any time she could have just turned around and burst down Ocelot, at which point she would have egged, and Shen probably wouldn't have been able to finish off, because she would have been pretty close to the tower at that point, and then Dedrian could have reacted, and that would have been 2 for 0. So it was clever for Ocelot not to get in melee range or anywhere near Anivia when she's retreating. Actually, Dedrian looking for a gank there as well. Interesting position to gank from actually, and Gragas itself is very, very difficult to gank since he does have that body slam, and I think he realises such and will be backing off. This, yeah, it's kind of hard for Nocturne to gank early game, and I'm not sure why he's trying too much. He realises he needs to help his lanes out, but until he gets level 6 it's very, very hard to gank, because he doesn't have a lot of CC, he only has his fear, maybe Red Bull if he has it, but he's relying on his lane's actual CC to actually get anywhere. You want on bottom.
As you say though, you know, Grag is very difficult to gank because of his body slam or his belly flop, as you so affectionately call it. We are going to have a gank at bot though. Here comes Svenskeren once again, the pulverize and the headbutt, both used from Nax on cooldown. He's going to try his best to escape, but there's first blood coming in from Kevin with 2 assists down on Shen and Janna respectively, and that is going to give SK Gaming a nice start. Kevin with that kill on Graves is going to be so dangerous for Tristana.
Yeah, that's really, really nice for Graves, and he just needs to scale. That's basically allows him to scale even harder into the mid and late game. AD carries themselves scale into late game, they peak at late game, and meanwhile at top, Nocturne looking for a gank.
He's going to be looking for Kale. Young Buck does not have his ultimate up. This is really dangerous position from his perspective. Unspeakable Horror has been used, but Kale is going to be more than quick enough with a Divine Blessing, which of course does give a movement speed by 18%. In the meantime, we are going to have more action at bot lane between the 2 AD carries of Kevin and Candy Panda. Candy Panda with just 2 bars of health remaining is going to chug through a health pot, and it's going to be enough to save his life just for now. But Graves, level 5, Candy Panda is about halfway through 4, and here comes Svenskeren once again on Shen. Ward goes down into Tri-Bush. Rocket jump instantly used from Candy Panda. Dax headbutting away. Graves will get taunted though from Shen. Will they be able to pick up this second kill? Quick draw has been utilised from Kevin. Candy Panda forced the flash away. And will they go for the tower dive? No, they won't. Only at level 4 and 5. A bit too dangerous. Ocelot did come down from mid lane. Is he going to be able to pick up a kill? He's landed. The explosive cast will take Candy Panda down. Beautiful play from him. Such awareness to move down from mid as soon as he sniffed. There could have been a possible kill at the bot lane, and Ocelot will pick up kill number 2. And a couple pings going down towards Dragon, but I'm doubting they're going to be trying this one just yet. No, they won't. Body slam through the wall. Ocelot back to his lane.
Yeah, that was really clever by Ocelot. It was also very clever by bottom lane. They realised that he was missing. That was obviously called from Moma, but they just couldn't get out fast enough. And because of that flash and the body slam, there's so much mobility, and with his ultimate as well, if that had been 1 Teemo higher, then he would have actually gotten Dax as well. Because he didn't have ultimate, he would have hit his second body slam and also his cask. So that would have been the second kill. But even so, 1 kill for nothing, it's pretty good going.
Absolutely. It's going to be the case, and Also important to note that some assists were also popped onto the team of SK there as well. Everyone chiming in. So Janet Shen with 2 assists. Graves has that first blood and an assist as well. He's gone back to spawn, has 2 Doran's Blades and a Berserker's Greaves as well. And if you compare that to Tristana, has just the 1 Doran's Blade and Berserker's Greaves. Doesn't seem like much, but that 1 Doran's Blade this early in the game is 80 health, 10 attack damage, and 3% lifesteal. It can definitely be the difference between a kill and a death at bot lane.
Yeah, any item this early on is pretty huge. And it's also interesting because he'll also be getting that big item very slightly before Candy Panda, which will usually be the Infinity Edge with those 2 carries. And the interesting thing about that is even though you have the components, when you combine it, it's a huge amount of power, or a huge increase in power, and that will actually give him the actual increase in damage for a long time before Candy Panda picks that one up as well. So that means he has more kill potential, and it's really going to hurt them, and Candy Panda needs to recognize this when it happens.
Yeah, for sure. So, let's have a quick look at the junglers. Once again, Dedrian has just managed to get himself to 5, very, very close to 6. After this red buff, he will be hitting 6, so Paranoia will be up. Will they go for an instantaneous gank or not? That's still to be seen. Kale is moving fairly aggressively at top lane, level 7 right now. Going to be harassing Prathana back towards his lane. And also, Gragas is pushed back to his tower, so it looks like Nocturne, just for now, won't be trying a quick gank. A couple pings down towards the bot lane. In the meantime, Shen has already hit level 6 with his involvement with those 2 previous kills. And that Standing Knight, as you said before, Pauls, is going to have that global influence that we all know and fear about Shen. But he's going to be coming down to bot lane for the 3rd time. Is he going to pick up 3 kills for his team on the bounce? Candy Panda has been zapped there from Janet. Nice rocket jump away. Just managing to escape from that Howling Gale breathing down his neck, and also using the blaster to push back Shen as well. So really trying everything they can to make sure that gank did not occur. Looks like Shen is still lurking around bot lane though.
That was very well played by Candy Panda. He used his ultimate exactly when Shen was shadow dashing in, which was just great timing. And he was waiting for it as well. Youngbuck doing a lot of damage for Fan on the top, and Hemiplague popped down as well, but I don't think anyone of them going to die. I think it was just more of a panic than anything. I'm kind of surprised at the CS. I should expect that the Kayle would be higher CS because she's got more harass early game, but she's kind of left it too long because now Vlad is almost level 9, he has a lot of sustain, he has a lot of damage, you can start trading with her more effectively. Nocturne's did a really good job of actually stopping her from doing so with those sort of pressure more than ganks than anything, but it stopped her from really bullying out Profana. It's kind of interesting though, I would expect her to be further ahead than she is. Actually, there's the gank.
Oh, Youngbuck used the rest of his mana to try and harass Prathana once again, but does flash away from danger, so he will be able to escape. Just for a couple seconds there, Paul, so I was fearing the worst for him, as that Nocturne with the Paranoia just kind of shot out at the top bush and really put the damage down. Either way, that will not be a kill at top, but again, successful in the sense that Youngbuck has burnt through that summoner spell.
Yeah, a lot of people forget that a summoner spell is pretty significant. It allows your lane to be more aggressive, it allows the next gang to be more effective because they don't have that escape or offensive summoner, so it's really good. It's really good. It's sometimes better than the kill if you can actually bully them so hard they lose out on more farm than a kill is worth, which is about 12 CS.
Well, both junglers are going to be bumping head to head very shortly. Svenskaren does have a ward in the bush, so he did see Adrian slowly sneaking his way up towards the Wraiths and did steal the big Wraith, now pulling his way back. So another small victory for SK Gaming's jungle. Going to see some red action at bot lane as Tristana's flashing up. Could actually go down. No, she won't. 35 HP remaining. I think that was Ignite ticking down from Kevin. Indeed it was. So lots and lots of burst damage. Candy Panda is really finding it difficult to stand toe-to-toe with Kennen right now. Both on around the same creep score. Kevin 88, Candy Panda 84. Is going to go back towards spawn, pick up a Vampiric Scepter, a ward, and a couple health pots. How much gold does Graves have? The answer is nearly 1,500. So do you think he's going to wait in his lane until he hits the 1,650 and pick up the BF sword? Or do you think he's going to go back and get something else?
Yeah, most likely. He already has the Berserker Greaves, so he probably won't be going for that Zeal over the BF Sword, and plus his Buckshot and his ultimate scale so well from AD, it makes a lot of sense to do so. I think he's going to go back and try and take those Golems, and I think Shen realises he's probably just asked for them, and Svenskeren is going to recall before taking those. Yeah, there he goes. That should be enough to get him that BF Sword, and he gains a lot of power with that BF Sword, probably more so than a lot of AD carries, maybe Ashe as well, because it allows her to be more aggressive, and actually start winning those trades and do more damage with that slow. But back to this game, Graves gains a lot of power, a lot of burst damage, and you just saw that on Tristana. You can't go toe-to-toe with Graves, who has level 6, and perhaps a BF sword, or at least double dance. There it is.
Yeah, BF sword and a mana pot as well. Trying to stay in that lane for as long as possible, soak up the XP, soak up the gold, and then try and put some serious pain down on Tristana. As you said, the buckshot and his collateral damage, so much burst potential with an early BF sword. And Tristana's going to have to really play her cards right at the bot lane. Svenskeren once again is interested, having a quick look-see at bot lane. Just took himself down that Tribush ward, so he got the early oracles, which you see a lot of junglers at this kind of top end of the game take. Just clear out that vision on the opposite side, and now Tristana and Alistair never really know if Shen is on his way back towards that bot lane again.
The thing with mana pots is that you shouldn't really buy them unless you're a burst sort of carry, like an AP carry, or maybe Graves as well, who has that burst potential. And what it does is it throws your enemy lane partner off, because basically it's like, okay, he doesn't have enough mana for his burst combo, so I'm able to trade with him, and that's how a lot of players calculate whether they can win a trade. But with that mana pot, it makes it more difficult, because that's another plus 100 mana, which will probably allow that extra burst damage to come out. So it's quite clever on Graves' part right there.
Yeah, we can have a dragon attempt here from Mousesports. Here comes SK in the form of Graves, Shen and Janna. We could have an engage kicking off. There's the taunt from Shen. Does manage to catch onto Alistair, the tankiest player on his team. They're going to focus him down. Had Unbreakable will be going down either way. Graves with a double kill. Can he add to that? Yes, he will get to the double kill and also the dragon. Now looking for his triple. Can he pick it up? No, he can't. Kale will be taking down Vladimir. And now they're chasing after Candy Panda on Tristana once again. Nivea trying his best to fire through the wall. Moma coming to the rescue of Candy Panda. Does land the Flash Frost, puts the ultimate down, doing a lot of AoE damage. But you have to say that team fight well and truly went into the hands of SK. 3-1 and a dragon on top of it.
That was a very janky call, and it didn't make a lot of sense. It's like, okay, they've come to contest it, I'm gonna stick on it, guys, and Dedrion went from 100% to pretty much 10% purely from Drake, and maybe a bit of AoE from SK. And then it was easy. Kevin took the opportunity, dashed in with his quick draw, killed Nocturne, took Drake with his burst from his bookshot. It was really weird for him to actually stay on it. If he'd de-aggroed it, it might have actually aggroed onto one of the opponents, but I suppose he didn't want that aggro on one of his allies, and he wanted to get that and maybe sacrifice himself for it. It was almost in smiting range for him, but even so, it was odd. It was too risky, in my opinion, definitely in the midst of a team fight, because that's also drawing his attention to it and not an enemy.
And the really scary thing right now for Mousesports is that Graves has just gone back and picked himself up an early Bloodthirster. So he's going to be able to stack them really dangerous statistics on the BT and put some real pain out onto Tristana. Already has 3 stacks on attack damage, and of course you get the 0.60% on lifesteal this early on, but he's going to continue to rinse and repeat at the bot lane, and Tristana is looking pretty woeful right now from Mousesports' viewpoint at bot lane. In the meantime at top, they're going to be trying to pressure onto Prathana. Here comes Dedrion from the backside though, trying to come to the rescue of his teammate. Shen is going to pop on the ultimate. Kale flashes in, finishes it off with the righteous Fury, her E. And that is going to be the 6th kill on the board now for SK Gaming, looking incredibly strong.
They're winning all over the place right now, and this is what we were talking about. If Graves gets his big item before Trist, that's a huge amount of kill potential, and I would argue that he could probably 100-0 at this point with the Buckshot and ultimate along with some damage from Janna. And meanwhile at top, they're looking for a gank on Dedrion.
They are. Oh, well, the Shroud did come out from Dedrion, so alleviating the pressure from the taunt that was coming in from Shen, and did manage to put the Dustbringer and escape. But Shen has been so aggressive all over the battlefield. We've seen him at bot, we've seen him mid, now top. He's got 5 assists for his team. And he has pretty much set up that bot lane nicely for Kevin, so really doing a great job. And not to take anything away from Dedran, he's been really quite active at top lane, but unfortunately from his team's perspective, not a great deal at bot. And Kevin alongside Nif have been pushing bot time and time again, so maybe Nocturne should start to think about ganking bot lane.
Sometimes, though, it gets to the point where the lane is probably stronger than 2 versus 3 trades, and at this stage, Kevin can probably do it. 3-0-2 has the Bloodthirst, so that's a lot of burst potential, and it's AoE, you have to remember that. So he could probably burst one of them down, and if he bursts down Tristana, that's a lot of damage, and that's a lot of damage lost from that trade. So he could probably actually turn that around and take another kill from Nocturne, and he really doesn't have the damage at this stage. He has double Dorans, but he could probably trade off against both of them right now, especially with the Janus CC.
Alrighty, well let's have a look at some of these items that are getting built up around the map. We focus quite a lot on Graves. We have a Rod of Ages onto Anivia. Tristana has picked up that BF sword. Hextech Revolver for Vladimir alongside the Cage's lucky pick. And you have some gold per 10 items for Gragas in mid. He's got the Heart of Gold, the Philosopher's Stone, and the Cage's lucky pick alongside a Catalyst of the Protector. So just to give you an idea of what is going around the map right now, some more kind of pushing and throwing at bot lane. Here comes Nocturne, but there is a ward down in the bush. They know exactly what's going on. In the meantime, Svenskeren is coming around from the top, so it's going to be a 3-on-3 encounter. Graves forcing Candy Panda back. Look at that burst damage. Here comes Shen. Tristana gets completely popped in a heartbeat. Now I'm going to be looking for that second kill on towards Dedrion. And for a couple of seconds, I think Mousesports thought they had at least one kill at bot lane, but it's quickly rotated back. Here comes Anivia. In the meantime, Momo trying to pick up the kill on towards Nif, but the Eye of the Storm may be going to be enough to save Nif's life. Indeed it will. Momo's been popped down into egg formers. Here comes Ocelot. And that's a huge, huge victory as Graves will flash in and Q onto Alistair. Wow. And suddenly it's 9-1. So that was a 3-for-0 exchange. That was about as back and forth as you could ask for. Ganks coming here, there, and everywhere.
Yeah, that was really bad. When Youngbuck gonna go onto Profana and look at the damage. He might pick up the kill here. Or not. Gonna put down to a 40% hape. But at bottom, that was really clever by Graves. He pretty much baited the heck out of Dedrion. He knew there's a ward there, so he could obviously see Nocturne, but Nocturne was waiting for Graves to get near the bush, and that's how you play it as a jungler. So he wasn't showing that he knew he was there by being so aggressive in a 2 versus 3 situation. So Dedrion, by all means, thought that it wasn't warded because he was being so aggressive, he could pick up the kill, 3 versus 2. But he was basically baiting it so Shen would appear and then turn it into a 3v3 situation where Tristana's already taken a lot of damage from the bait that Dedrion was trying to set up, so it was great mind play, and that basically allowed them to set up those 3 kills, and of course it helped that Ocelot came down as well.
Yeah, it's the second time we've seen Ocelot reacting very, very quickly, reading the situation before it even happened, coming down from mid towards bot, and picking up kills for his team. We saw it with the second kill, I believe it was, onto Candy Panda, and there we go again. So he has managed to finish off a Rod of Ages and the Sork Shoes as well. He's on 2-0-3. Dragon is coming up very shortly. As you can see, SK had that one timed down to the millisecond. Instantly on top of it, as soon as Dragon spawned, it will be going down very, very quickly. Nothing that bot lane can do, especially as the Sanctuary of that tower has been taken out of the equation. So they're going to have to be even more careful now of those potential ganks coming in. Here comes Shen through the wall, managing to land a taunt onto Dax, who instantly pops his ultimate. Is it going to be enough to stave off this 5-player strong onslaught from SK Gaming? Here comes Gragas, is going to finish off with his explosive barrel and a barrel roll. But again, Alistair sacrificing himself for his AD character is exactly what you'd expect support to do, but unfortunately it's not really getting them anywhere. Candy Panda is surviving most of the time, but still is falling way, way behind Graves on items and also on gold. Now Moma could be under really heavy attack from SK Gaming. Ocelot's going to open things up. Here comes Prothana from the top though, on towards Shen, doing a fair amount of damage. Is it going to be enough to save Moma? So much chasing ability though from SK. They have Janet with the Howling Gale. If she can land it, got the body slam as well from Ocelot, throwing up the barrel roll. Dedrion is coming from the side. The taunt is landed onto Moma, and he will be going down for the 11-1 scoreline and about 7k gold difference after 22 minutes.
It's kind of looking bad right now for Mousesports. I'm looking at their team, and they're very mid-game orientated. They have nice initiate, they've got double AP, but then again, they're sort of late-game scaling APs. And right now, you have SK, where they have 2 AD carries, which peak at late game, and plus they're so far ahead, they're going to be getting to the stage where they have the power where they would be in late game. So I'm not liking their chances, basically. They have the CC, and one good team fight could potentially push them back into it, but at the moment, with these small pickups happening everywhere as well, because they have a great pick team, it's only going to get worse for them.
Yeah, SK are going to start to push through the mid. They're going to take that one down very comfortably. Dedrin has to be careful. It's a 1v5 at the moment. Dax is coming around from the corner, Moma from the backside. But still, a lot of quick fire burst potential from SK. Going to put down some pressure on towards Moma. Dedrin popping off Unspeakable Horror. The tower is on low health though. Unspeakable Horror didn't manage to do enough to stave off the onslaught onto the second tier tower in mid. That's going to be 2 towers on the bounce for SK Gaming, who further push their advantage home. It's not just a case of gold now. With both of those mid towers out of the equation, it's a lot of map control to them as well.
Yeah, and very soon you'll start... they've actually timed the blue buff as well, or they might be looking for a pick here. What are they doing? Yeah, they've timed the blue buff. So they'll have a lot of ward all over the enemy jungle right now, and this is what they're expecting. Well, Ocelot timing it down to the end of his barrel roll. That was pretty smooth, I've got to say. Also, very interestingly, Ocelot's got 3 gold per 10 items, which you don't usually see, but he's copying a player which I can't remember the name of right now. But basically, Gragas's problem is he doesn't have a lot of late game scaling. He's extremely strong in mid game, but when it gets to late game, he scales off of it. He's got the utility, he's got pretty good damage, but if he hasn't got the kills, he's going to scale off. Those 3 gold per 10 items essentially mean that he can scale to late game extremely well, and he'll still stay above the curve, and that's what he's looking for right there. If anyone was interested in that one.
Well, interestingly enough, Mousesports are just going to pile in together at bot lane. Graves obviously not going to try and contend with that, because he would have been dead very, very quickly indeed, as fed and farmed as he is. Oh, and Gale used from Janna just to push that creep wave back a tiny bit, try and damage it. Here comes Graves. 1Q pretty much clears that wave entirely. Lots and lots of pings are going down. Here comes the counter-attack potentially from SK. They don't want to get caught out of position though. They have a really, really big lead, so throwing it away at this stage will not be the greatest idea. Nip has been caught with his pants down. Lots of damage being utilised from Dedrin and Candypan as well, but again, he only just goes down from Tristana. I was about to say again he manages to survive, but here comes a lot of burst damage from Ocelot, throwing his explosive cast to push away Moma. Kevin is getting focused down now from the entire lineup of Mousesports. Going to go back on towards Svenskeren, trying his best to escape, but Tristana rocket jumping over, landing on the forehead of Shen. Will be picking that kill up. So somewhat of a comeback, but in amongst all that, have a quick look at top lane. Young Buck has been pushing like a boss, could actually take this tower down, and the inhibitor. In fact, hold that thought, because here comes Moma. So obviously they had seen this one coming, and very quickly try and close the gaps. But Young Buck did manage to push very, very heavily at top lane.
Yeah, and Ocelot looking for blood right now. 3 fairly low health targets. Just waiting for it to happen. I think Candypan's gonna get out there. Will he body slam? Yes, he will. Okay. Dax stopping this from happening. Nice CC. And he's actually gonna go back in there with the barrel roll. Pops the ultimate down on Dax as well. The damage. Flash goes out. Looking to finish off maybe with the body flop. There it is. Dejion taking the brunt of it as well. And he will be backing off. Ultimate comes down by 10. He's going to turn this one around once again, but he sees Profana. And Moma coming from the side with Flash Frost. Wall goes down, and where's Svenskeren going to go? And I think he's just going to fall right here, putting himself in a bad position with that Stand United.
Oh man, I think Svenskeren right about now. It's like, thanks mate, thanks a lot. What were you doing? I mean, fair enough, you got a kill. It was a 3v1, it probably felt good, but still, kind of in an awkward position, and Svenskeren will actually go down it. With that being said, you know, SK is still a long, long way ahead. Map control, gold, farm, XP, everything is in their favour. But if they keep making little mistakes like that, Pauls, it could end up costing them. We've seen a lot of epic comebacks in League of Legends. It's one of those kind of games that the small mistakes, the later on you get, of course, the longer you have to sit on the substitutions bench when you're dead, could actually lose you the game. So they have to make sure that they keep focused.
Yeah, that's very true. And Mouse have a team where they can really do so. I mean, they have two late game scaling AP carries, and Nivea scales well, and so does Profana on Vlad. He's a late game hyper carry as AP carries go. You have Tristana who scales really well as any AD carry, but Tristana more so because she's got the steroid and she's got the great escape and the follow up if she gets a kill or assist. And they have Dedron for the initiate and Dax with the CC. So if they let this one slide, they could be in a bad position. Profana getting trolled by the small wolves. And we'll be picking that one up. But meanwhile, Wolf for a Drake, not going to happen. So they still have the map control, and this is the problem right now. If they still have the map control, then they can't get these objectives, and they might be rushing Baron right now because they know that Alice is back. What are they looking to do? They're looking for some picks. They don't have an... actually, no, Nift has an Oracle, and they know there's a ward there, just calling them to take that one out. But they do have the map control, and this means they can't take Drakes, and therefore they're going to fall behind. If they just wait it out and try and get to late game, they're going to fall behind on objectives like Baron and Drake. So... difficult for them right now. Very, very difficult. Actually, Nif, I think his Batman senses are tingling. Oh, wait, no, he does have a ward there, so... map awareness, very, very crucial. And he will be backing off that one.
Yeah, I mean, the other thing as well, that both times that the dragon has gone down, SK have been there within a millisecond of it spawning. And on top of that, Mousesports have not had any wards down, so they're not going to know the exact timing of dragon, which again is going to work in SK's favour. They're starting to split up here, SK. I'm going to go for that farm, realising there's very little, probably, possibility that Mouse will go for the Baron. And there's plenty of wards to cover it as well. Shen, in the meantime, is just going to farm bot lane. One of the main strengths of Shen is that he can split push all day long, while his Stand Unite is off cooldown. However, it's not off cooldown at the moment, although only for another 10 or so seconds at most. Lots of pings going down here from SK, obviously knowing what is up with all this ward coverage. Here comes Nif with the Oracle, going to clear out all these wards. And now Shen's ulti is just about to come off CD. So there we go. He is now going to be that global threat, that global presence once more. SK come around the corner. I have to pose a question to you, Pulse. You're saying before that, well, in fact, following that thought, Moma has been caught out position. Beautiful warload from Moma, stopping Gragas and Kevin from getting close to him in a close proximity, and that may have just saved his life. He manages to pull himself back by the skin of his teeth. He said before, Pulse, that they can't wait back and wait for things to happen. They have to be a bit more aggressive, but how can they win this game in your opinion?
Right now it's getting to that horrible moment where you have Shen bottom and then they're going to start forcing Baron. And I think they're going to start Baron right now. Here is the pressure. It's very difficult for them because they have this snowballing team where they get ahead, they're going to stay ahead because Shen's going to be pushing bottom. What are they going to do? Are they going to stop them from taking Baron, or are they going to stop Shen from taking their inhibitor and that inhibitor turret? Shen actually popping up there as well and actually going to go straight for this Baron and look for a fight immediately after.
Yeah, Baron has been taken actually from Nocturne, so beautiful play from Dedrion. He will go down instantly afterwards. But really nice Baron steal. Here comes Vladimir Profana using everything at his disposal, doing a lot of damage. Does pick up the kill on towards Shen. Candy Panda, Dax, and Moma all starting to pull themselves back. Ocelot completely decimating Alistair with the body slam. Going back in once again onto Moma. Do they have enough damage to pick up this kill? Q goes down onto Moma from Young Buck. Lots of exchange damage. Ocelot on towards Moma. Will take him down into egg form. Candy Panda will get shut down courtesy of Kevin with the flash and quick draw. And the double kill comes in on towards Anivia. So that's going to be an ace. What started off so well with that Baron steal ended somewhat sourly. 2 for 5 exchange. And that's going to be at least an inhib down and perhaps the GG.
Nocturne has respawned and Dax next. I don't know if they can stop them. They had the AD carry alive. They might be going for top tower actually. Ocelot can 100% tank this one. So you were just asking me how can they pull this one back? And honestly, Baron steals and stealing those objectives and making good timing pushes is the answer. Though that was really good for Vedrion, his team initiated for no particular reason. He was soaking up a lot of damage and soaking up some ultimate, but it didn't really make sense to initiate when they knew they were behind. Yes, Baron gives 18k in stats, but it doesn't make sense. So if he had gotten that Baron steal and just died right up, that would be great, because they would have been fine. They would have actually pulled themselves back. They would have gotten an extra bit of gold. They're not going to be back in the game, but it's the first step to it. But what they did there is they got the Baron and then they gave him the 5 kills, which has just evened it up again. And now they don't have Baron buff. They're at exactly the same stage they were just before that fight.
But I mean, as you said in Champion Select, actually, Paul, you said Gragas and Janna are masters at moving around the team fight in your favor. And as soon as Prothana went in, especially onto Vladimir, just pushing him with Vladimir in the Sanguine pool, Gragas waited, bided his time. As soon as Prothana was out of the Sanguine pool, just blasted him in the forehead with the explosive cast, pushing him back into the back of Baron Pit. Nothing that Prothana could have done from that situation. Went down very quickly without much of a fight. After that, it was pretty much just a cleanup crew chasing after Candy Panda and also Moma. So it's that kind of composition, the Gragas plus Janna in effect, that's so strong on the top plate. We've also got the taunt from Shen, who went down very quickly. But of course, he's one of the most tanky characters in the game, and especially on this team right now. Lots of damage being put from Kevin. I'm going to be looking to take down Candy Panda. Did try to rocket jump away. Collateral damage comes through as well. Somehow Tristana manages to survive with just about 100 HP at most. And Gragas likewise is flashing up red. Candy Panda being forced to go back to spawn. This could give them an opportunity to take down this bot tower right here, right now. And Anivia is so strong though, clearing creep wave. It's really difficult to actually push a team with a good Anivia, because Moma is going to pop down his ultimate, going to fire through the Flash Frost, and that's pretty much a wave dead in a matter of seconds.
Though, meanwhile, top, Shen split pushing once again. He does have Candy Panda to stop him, but now it's become 4 versus 5, where SK are still stronger. And they've not got the AD carry, but they have Shen top, who is their tank, so it's a better trade-off, especially because Shen has Stand United. And Candy Panda's pushing out really far, and I don't think that's a great idea, considering... Where are they going? They're going for Drake. Okay, okay, I kind of understand that, because they want more global objectives, but then again, pushing out a tower would have been a better choice. Because Shen's top, they've got them right where they want, basically. They have the AD carry top and they have 4 people bottom, where they really can't defend against it. You were saying they have nice counter-pushing ability with Anivia, but it really doesn't help when they've just towered over you. And they can't stop them from doing so, and they have so much displacement, they can literally push them out of their tower with Ocelot and Nif.
Yeah, very true.
Return.
This kind of reminds me, actually, I don't know if you caught it, with the DreamHack between Moscow 5 and CLG EU, a very similar kind of situation where CLG looked down and out of the match, but then Anivia, Froggen, was able to just hold off the game until about 40, 50, 60 minutes, and then he managed to pull off a ridiculous comeback. The problem here, as you say though, is when you have Gragas, sure you can hide behind the tower, but you've also got Shen. So as soon as you land an explosive cast, push everybody away from the tower, Shen can go in, taunt a couple of players, and that's pretty much all she wrote. Either way, Anivia's going to try his best to try and push some of this pressure backwards, alleviate it, but so far not really doing anything. As here comes SK once again, going to be trying to mow down this top inhibitor. Already one down in mid. Here comes a Flash Frost, just missing. Explosive cast has been popped off from Gragas. Not really doing a great deal though, just pushing Dax backwards. And we did see a Shrelia's popped in amongst all that from Dax, so it's really just both teams touching, feeling each other out here. Flash Frost and a wall go down, but another good thing about a lot of the players right now on SK is quick draw, the taunt, and also the body slam can get through that Anivia wall, so they can manage to get through any of that blocking off that comes in from the opposition. I'm going to go back on towards the inhibitor once again. It just seems like a slow, painful death right now for Mouse. Could be seeing an engage right now. Here we go. Nocturne pops off. Here's Paranoia. Instantly Monsoon is used to heal up some of that damage, soak it up. Shen's going to pop his ultimate too. Candy Panda going towards Youngbot will pick up that kill. Can we see a couple more coming into quick succession? Beautiful explosive cast though, saying a big emphatic no to Candy Panda, shutting him down. Nivea back onto Shen. And this, so far, has been a 2-for-1 exchange, but Dax is going to go down. Here comes Ocelot, near enough full HP and mana, very quickly getting exploded down to little to no health, 77 HP remaining on Gragas, but he will manage to live to fight for another day. So that was a 2-for-2 exchange, but an inhibitor did go down at top, and now Gray's going to try and take down that second one here in mid.
Not going to quite happen, I don't think, and they don't really have the strength to push them back right now. They have Profana alive and they have Moma. That's massive pushing ability with 2 AP carries, so they're just going to go ahead and back off and maybe clear out that jungle. Interesting, Grace didn't go for the red buff. Maybe thought it was down, but generally when you're ahead like that and you push them into your base, you just clear through the jungle and there's nothing you can do about it. Maybe he's just recalling as fast as possible so he can just regroup with his team and take another objective. I'm not sure when Baron's up, and that might be what they're looking at right now. Because they pushed them so far into their base and super minions are spawning top, is again that sort of pincer movement where you can either do one thing and lose your towers, or actually stop them and then lose your towers. It's just a horrible situation to be in, and that's what SK are relying on, and it just exacerbates the problem because they have Svenskeren on Shen, which Svenskeren actually sounds like Shen if you're drunk. Thinking about that.
If you're very, very drunk. But yeah, as you said before, you're not sure how long Baron is until it's up. Well, the answer is it is right now. So both teams starting to move around. Graves is horridly out of position right now, but he is recalling. Doesn't seem that Mousesports know that Graves is out of position, so they're not going to try and push that Baron. And now Kevin is going to go back towards Baron Asher. So a couple wards are being taken out courtesy of Nif's Oracle. Nif on 0-1-16. Nice stats there from the support. Only died the one time in nearly 38 minutes. Going to start onto Baron here. No ward. He's down from Mouse. This is the right moment to strike. Ward has just gone down there. Explosive cast. Look at that damage onto Candy Panda. Oh my god. From full to about a third in the blink of an eye. They have came off Baron. Gonna go back onto it once again. The wall comes down from Anivia. For some vision. Here comes the engage. Paranoia used, and it's going to be yet another Baron steal from Dedron. Beautiful play. Are they going to make the same mistake and engage afterwards, though? Candy Panda in a really precarious position. Nice Flash Frost landing onto the AD carry of Kevin, Kevin even, who goes unstoppable. And another wall put down from Anivia. Going to be enough to give them a tiny bit of light at the end of the tunnel, but it's incredibly small amounts. Even though they have Baron, they're still a long way behind. Explosive Cask used once again from Ocelot. They're going to pick up the third inhibitor now. And there's going to be a lot of super minions pushing towards the Nexus towers. The question is, Pauls, can Mouse somehow pull this one back? We're going to have a big team fight kicking off, though, perhaps. Going to answer the question. Svenskeren taking all kinds of damage from the tower, and Anivia as well does manage to pull himself back. Oh, he is so tanky. He's got a Warden's Mail and an Aegis Legion on top of a Frozen Mallet, so he's got a lot of HP. Daxter's going to go back in once again. Kevin still, however, has that Guardian's Angel, which is going to be scary for Mousesports right here. Explosive Cask again, and Candy Panda gets completely demolished in a split second, and with the AD carry down, it's only going to look like it's going to go SK's way. Here comes Shen's ultimate on Kevin. Chemo Plague used from Vladimir. This is last chance saloon for Mousesports. Can they pick up a couple of kills? The answer seems to be a no. Prothana's going to use the Sanguine pull instantly down as soon as he comes out a bit. Kale on towards Anivia. Can they pick up this third kill? Graves, beautiful positioning just from the side, mullering everybody down, and that's going to be the GG, 25-10. A valiant effort from Mousesports, but at the end of the day, the better team won.
Yeah, definitely. And I was just taking a look at Gregus' gold at the end. Because he had those 3 gold per 5s, it was like 17,000. It was crazy. That's a significant portion of the team's gold, their total gold. That's absolutely insane. And that's basically what those triple gold for 5s do for you. The longer you leave it, that's another thing to add to the basket. You have Gragas, who has great late game scaling, which is something you never usually have to take into consideration. But that was a really nice game, well played by SK, just played everything perfectly and pushed their team comp to their advantage. And this is something that a lot of teams forget. You have a team comp, utilize it, and they used it all the time, which was really well played.
Absolutely. Well, guys, we are going to go for a very quick commercial break, as we had a couple technical difficulties, which we know about, don't worry. And hopefully, fingers crossed, they will be resolved before we go back live once again. So stay tuned, guys. We should be gone for a few moments while we get ready for game number 2, and we'll see you very shortly.